All right, so I wanted to say thank you to like everyone who's watched my videos, and like especially like the people who message me. It means a lot. It means a lot. And like I think the important thing to say for me is that I've been like really just like completely enjoying making these videos. Like I'm falling in love with making these videos, and so regardless of whatever happens, who watches it or whatever, I have no expectations. I just enjoy making the videos. And it's given me a sense of fulfillment that I haven't felt in a long time. I haven't felt in a long time. So yeah, like I said in high, like I was looking for a way to express myself, and so far, like this has been great. Uh, so I'm really grateful for that. I'm really grateful for that. And I think one of my strengths too is yeah, if it storms, I'm gonna have to run to my porch. Anyway, I think one of my strengths too is I'm good at sticking with one thing like for a long time. I'm willing to come back like day after day or just time after time. And I like sticking. Oh shit. I just felt the first drop of rain. Okay, we'll see what happens. Oh god. If I see lightning though, I'm gonna be fucked. Okay, anyway, all right, yeah, I'm willing to come back like time after time. Sticking with one thing comes pretty easily to me. That's what I feel comfortable with, honestly. I like being devoted to one thing in general. So yeah, so even like I'm not gonna post just for the sake of posting, but if I have an idea, of course. All right, I'm gonna continue on my porch. Shit. Okay, I'm back. Um, yeah, like I was saying, it's been something that's really fulfilling for me. Jesus Christ. And like I'm not gonna post just for the sake of posting, but if there's like an idea that I like to talk about, I'm gonna post. So even if I don't post for a while, I think I'll come back to it like for a long time. For a long time. Yeah. So the topic of this video, the I wanted it to be heartbreak. Uh, well, first of all, it's a very God, that lightning is scaring me. Okay. Um, it's a very emotional thing. It's a very emotional thing. Um, and I think an important thing to say is that emotion is very much felt in the body. If you're sensitive to it, you can very much feel your emotions um, in your body. And especially, for a breakup, it's very painful in the body. And yeah, like you can look this up, but like I felt it for sure myself. You can feel like literally your heart like hurts. Um, I would describe it as like a clawing feeling, and it's not the muscle or anything. It's not the muscle. It feels underneath um, where my heart is, or like someone's like pinching like the heart like that. And you can see like that feeling correlates with whatever you're sad, like whatever you're thinking or emotional about, you know, the breakup. Um, and people say I'm a sensitive person. That yeah, I guess maybe I'm more emotional on average. Well, maybe you guys are insensitive. Maybe you guys are insensitive, but yeah, I think I'm pretty sensitive. I can see that I'm pretty sensitive compared to the average person. Not just in emotion too, but I think in some different ways. And that's another thing to say too. Meditation will make you much more sensitive and definitely emotionally sensitive. So honestly, it can be kind of dangerous for someone that has depression or anxiety or any sort of trauma that is repressed and that needs to be confronted. And meditation can bring that up. And if you're not ready to deal with that, it can be bad. So in those cases, you're gonna want to deal with it in a professional medical way. Um, yeah, it brings up a lot of repressed things, and you're much more sensitive to emotion afterwards. And I think that's a healthy thing in the long term. That's a good thing in the long term, because if you don't confront those emotions or experience them right away, if you repress them, they're still there. They're still in your body. They're still in your mind. Um, when it comes up later, it's going to be nasty. It's going to be nasty. And it's going to come out in a way that it shouldn't come out in. So I think it's good to feel your emotions right away, to cry, to do whatever you need to do. Like, for me, like, definitely listening to music. And this time, like, I got to like singing. Like, I just like singing too, like, to the music. Not in any sort of professional sense, but it just feels good, like, to feel like the sound, like, in my body. Oh, God. My lighting's gonna go too, slowly. And then also to me, it's like poetry, I guess. But it's just me writing, about my feelings. And that felt like a good way to express myself too. But the biggest thing is is crying, for sure. That crying and meditating, like, that's confronting it directly. That's doing exactly what you need to do. Because you're upset with reality. You're upset that someone's, not the way that you want them to be. And well, no one on this planet is ever going to be 100% the way you want. But at least you get to be the way you want. I'm getting rained on now. Oh, man. Yeah. And I think it's also good to mention that a relationship is based on needs. It's like a transaction, It's you fulfill the other person's needs, and then they fulfill your needs. And someone's needs change with time. So to maintain the relationship, you have to fulfill the other person's needs continuously. A relationship is a variable reality. And if you don't fulfill the needs, then it's going to go somewhere else. Because you have to understand, like, before that person was with you, they were doing what they wanted to do. And whenever they got with you, they're still doing what they wanted to do. And whenever they left, they're also doing what they wanted to do. They were with you because it was a benefit to their life. And if it's not a benefit anymore, they'll leave. And that's the same thing for you. That's you can do that as well. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong or anything, but I think that's just the fundamentals of a relationship. You can see that's just how a relationship works. And yeah, I heard this from one of the speakers that I really like. He said that if you want an absolute relationship, you should hold a relationship with God or the dead. Because if you don't think about God for 10 days and then you think about him on the 11th day, he's still there. But if you do that with your boyfriend or girlfriend, you'll have problems. So I thought that was pretty funny and a good way to explain it. But besides that, with relationships with, living human beings, they're variable. So yeah, let's see, what else to talk about? Well, I think, one of the sad things I think that happens with it is suddenly, like, after it happens, a lot of the times, not all the time, but it becomes like a competition to see, like, which person can care less. And I think that doesn't make any sense, like, in terms of the relationship. I know that occurs for social and cultural reasons. But in terms of the relationship, it doesn't make any sense that you feel satisfied, like, when someone cares more about you than you care for them. And then like the most significant thing for me, I would say, is like, I think that's sad that something that was so sweet and meaningful has turned into like a game of who can care less, who's just better off. So I don't think you should ever feel bad for caring about it. I don't think you should ever feel bad for how much it means to you, because it means something to you. No one else can ever change that, even that person. All that matters is that it means something to you. And I think that's something you should never let go. Even the emotions, they'll pass. You'll experience them, and then there will be no more emotions, but you should never forget those memories and how much it meant to you. I think that's a very special thing. What else to talk about? Yeah, and I think it's a very painful thing. Oh God, my lighting's going. I might have to continue this later. Yeah, I'm gonna continue this in some other way, so we'll see. All right, I'm gonna continue the rest of this video inside. All right, I guess there's a humidifier behind me. Anyway, yeah, I think it's just, it's better for you to hold it in a sweet way. And I mean that as like, even like, no matter what happened, like at the end, even if that person cheated on you or something. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm not trying to look at it from that angle, but even if they cheated, a lot of the times there was a reason like behind it. That person is doing what they want to do. Their needs weren't being fulfilled, and they're looking for their needs to be fulfilled by another person. It's just the way it is. You have to take care of yourself. I think it's better to look at it that way than, victimizing yourself. It's better to avoid that as much as possible, to look at it just as it is, and to hold it in a sweet way. And to be happy that that person is doing what they want to do now. What else to say? Okay, yeah, it's a very painful thing. It's a very painful thing. Like I mentioned, like if you're sensitive to it, you can definitely feel it physically. Even whenever you're not thinking about anything, it's painful physically. Like I said, the heart thing, and I think like for me, like I've also felt like in my sternum, like like in my lungs, it's just harder to like breathe sometimes. Like running or anything, like it's more painful. Um Yeah, and I think it's best if it's avoided. It's best if it's avoided. Of course, there's reasons that it needs to be done sometimes, but it's best that if it's avoided. And I think that reminds me of something I was talking to like with my friend like the other day, a while back. Uh, so he told me, so he was dating this girl for 4 years, and he told me that so he broke up with her. And then I was like, oh, like why'd you break up with her? And then his reasoning was I wasn't sure if she was the one. That was his reasoning. So I was like, so there was no problems or anything? Like he was like, no, yeah, like we're completely fine. Like it was cool. Like we were on great terms. I just wasn't sure if she was the one. So like I could not believe that just for that reason, like he did it. That couldn't be me. That couldn't be me for sure. I think it's best if it's avoided, because it's not good for you. It's not good for you physically. It's not good for you mentally and emotionally. It's best if it's avoided. Uh, what else to say? Yeah, but the good things that come out of it. Oh, this is one thing that I wanted to say. I think with in this heartbreak, this can come with any sort of relationship even. I'm predominantly talking about romantic relationships, but it can be any sort of relationship. It can be like a best friendship or a close family member that they just really turned out to be the way that you didn't want them to be, and they were like a certain way that was very good for you for a long time. Um, so it can be, yeah, it can be any sort of relationship, but I'm predominantly talking about romantic relationships. And so yeah, so the two of the main things I think that comes out of it is, one is very sad, and then two, it challenges your self-worth. It challenges your self-worth for sure, because for so long you've been identified with what this person thinks and feels about you, and that's something that's given you security. It gives you like a sense of self, you know. It's hard to set that aside. Like I said before, like in a previous video about identities, one of the hardest things I think is to not be identified with your relationships. If you're with that person for a long time, you very much become identified with what they think and feel about you. And whenever that changes, that's very painful. That's very painful. Yeah, and I think, you know, a way that I see it for sure is two people like becoming one. Two people becoming one in many ways, in body, in mind, and emotion. I imagine it as like two vines, like just wrapping around each other continuously for a long time. You know, I'm thinking about like a long-term relationship, not like a short-term thing. Yeah, I see it as like two vines, just continuously, or like two snakes, like just continuously like wrapping around each other for a long time. And to break that apart is very painful. Yeah. Okay, I just got an emergency alert from the storm, so that's why the video ended. Anyway, fuck. Okay, anyway, yeah, I see it very much as two people becoming one. I feel that for myself. Like, I think that person becomes a part of you. If you're in a long-term relationship, very much I feel that person becomes a part of you. And it's like, whatever you do, it seems like, you know, whatever comes to your mind, like they're doing it too. Just a memory of them pops up. And especially like after it happens, you know, that's something I think a lot of people can relate to. Like after you break up, it seems like everything reminds you about that person. And especially right after, it's very painful, and everything reminds you about that person. And the memory associated with them plays up in you very strongly. And that's been a part of you for a long time. So you have to give time for that to play up within you, and to let it work itself out so you can keep it at a distance eventually. Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm back. I don't like all these interruptions, but it is what it is. Yeah, so I was talking about two becoming one in memory. God damn it, man. I just want to make this damn video. Okay, we'll see. Okay, I decided I'm gonna ignore that noise for now and just deal with it. We'll see. Hopefully it's still a decent video. Yeah, so I think you have to give yourself time to let that memory work itself out, and so that you can set it aside, keep it at a distance. And I think if you don't give yourself time, and you just try to rush into things too soon, whether that be like a new relationship or anything else that you're just not ready for, it's going to cause turmoil like within you. It's going to cause turmoil within you. And I think if you're sensitive to how you feel like internally, you can see that it'll just cause turmoil in you if you're not ready. And with these things, I think it's very important to be graceful. Timing is very important. To wait and to do things when the right situation comes. You know, you fall you fall in love. And just like how you fall asleep, it's not something you do, you know? It's not, you don't get into bed and like, all right, I'm going to sleep now. You let yourself fall asleep. You let yourself fall in love whenever that situation, the right situation comes into place. So a very big element of it is being graceful. And it's a very sweet topic, you know? It's very sweet to think about. It's a very sweet and profound part of life, I think. Everyone should experience that. Everyone should experience that at some point. It's a very significant, profound, and sweet part of life, for sure. And yeah, depending especially on how much it means to you, you know, you need more time for the memory to work itself out. Yeah. And you know, I'm probably pretty poetic, I guess, like with some of the, oh my God, just everything is against me for making this video anyway. Yeah, I guess I'd like to some people I probably seem like too poetic or like dramatic or something, but I mean that's because like I feel emotion pretty intensely. And that's the way I see the world. That's the way I see the world, and that's the way I like to see the world. I see it in a very symbolic way. I like looking at things at like a deeper level. It just makes sense to me. It makes sense to me like that. Yeah. You know, I'm not sure what else to say. I think I hit all the main things. I guess I'll think about it for a little bit, but yeah, to end it off, I would say yes, it's definitely a traumatic thing to work out. You know, they say I think mentally and emotionally behind death of of a loved one, a breakup is the most traumatic thing that you can go through. Not saying it's one of the most difficult situations you can go through, but mentally and emotionally, it is one of the most difficult things to go through. So definitely takes time and take care of yourself for sure. Take care of yourself for sure. Especially because it hurts your sense of self. So you have to build that back up. Um and yeah, once you work that out, once you work through it, you do it again. You do it again. You fall in love again. When the time comes, the right opportunity comes, with the right amount of grace. And yeah, it's a very sweet part of life. I feel love just thinking about it because it's a very sweet part of life. And even whenever it ends, you know, you should just understand why it ends, and then understand that how much it means to you, how significant it was, and how sweet it was, you know, and that if it happened for a long time, it's very sweet for both people, you know. Otherwise, you know, it would have ended early. It would have ended early. So acknowledge how much it means to you. Process the emotions. Never forget it. I think it's foolish to forget your sweetest moments and your most bitter moments because those are where the most growth happens. Those are where the most growth happens. The most intense part of your lives, the most intense parts of your life is where the most growth happens, and it's the most significant, you know. So I think it's foolish, and yeah, you should. It's foolish to forget. You should never forget. Let the emotions go, but never forget it. And then when you're ready, yeah, do it again. Do it again. Fall in love again with a better sense of yourself, with a better sense of yourself, and a better sense of what to look for in the other person. And yeah, never let it mark you. I think, like I was talking about earlier, like as much as you can, it's with any sort of relationship or anything, it's beneficial for you to not see yourself as a victim, to just see that person just for what they are and see what's in your control, what you can do about it, and that you can, you get to choose your life. Because then in that way you remain unblemished. You remain unblemished. And you're able to experience the next relationship in its full sensitivity. You're able to experience it in its full sensitivity, And you should never let anyone take that away from you. No matter what happens, no matter what happens. If you're alive, you should never let whatever's happened to you take away that innocence and that sensitivity from you. Because that's life. That's a beautiful way to live. That's a beautiful way to live. And to me, I mean, if you're not going to live sensitively, and intensely, I feel like you're wasting your time. It's just a waste of time. Do something completely or don't do it at all, That's how I feel. It's a very sweet part of life, like I've said 20 times. But yeah, remain sensitive in the future. Of course, at first it's going to take a long time, to deal with that, but don't let it be a burden on you. Don't let it be a burden on you. Don't let it mark you forever. Be sensitive and unblemished, and so then you're ready for when the next one happens. When you're graceful and the right situation comes, you can experience it in its full sensitivity. In its full sensitivity, and it might be even more wonderful than the last one. So yeah, I guess that's all I really have to say. I like talking about these things. It's a very sweet and beautiful part about life, and I like thinking about it, talking about it. And yeah, I guess that's it. All right, I have something to say again, but I can never remember it like right away. But I think you can always choose how to hold something, how to hold it internally. You can always choose. And I think it's best if you appreciate, no matter what happened at the end, no matter what happened at the end, you can always appreciate how much someone gave you. Because if you think about it, like why you're so upset is because it was so wonderful before, and it has turned upset. It is it has turned like nasty. If something started off nasty, then you wouldn't really care that much. It's like, okay, like I had no expectation. So it's good to hold it. In memory, it's good to hold it in a sweet way, and you should never feel bad about caring about that person. I think you can always love them. You can always love them because love has nothing to do with a relationship. Oh man, this is another whole nother topic for a different video, but there's a lot of things to say about love. I'm poetic, I guess. I don't know. I like these things. I like these things. You should be sensitive to it, You should be sensitive to it and experience it because it's really sweet. It's a great part about being human. Um, but yeah, I think, regardless of relationship, I think you can always love them. Like I haven't talked to people in a long time, but like I still love them because you get to choose how you hold something. So hold it that way. Gain a better sense of yourself. Gain a better sense of what you should look for in the other person, and remain sensitive. Become wiser, having more sense, like I've said already, and remain unblemished, and experience the next one. Experience the next one, and let falling in love again be as wonderful as it was the first time. Yeah, I guess that's all I have to say. All right, I'm back again. I have another thing to say. This is just like my high video. I just have a lot of things to say. because this is what gonna be one of my favorite videos. I just like talking about this. Any of my friends, like if you want to talk to me about this stuff, definitely text me or whatever. Um, yeah. So whenever someone hurts you or something like that happens, no matter what has happened, once you process the emotions, you have two choices. You really have two choices. You can become wise or you can become wounded. You know, there's those people who are like, oh, fuck everyone. You know, if you're kind in this world, people will take advantage of you. And, you know, yeah, that's some people are like that. They think the universe is against them. And well, I think if it's you versus the universe, that's not a good battle to fight. You should not try to fight that battle anyway. Uh, but yeah, you can become wise or wounded. You can become wise or wounded. So it's definitely more sensible to become wise. See it as something that you can improve upon, and that you should have had more sense. You should have had more sense. And yeah, yeah, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And yeah, oh yeah, another thing is love is about you. Love is about you. Being loving is about you, not about the other person. And once you can understand that, and once you can see that, it's a very beautiful, sweet thing. And I think every human being should experience that. Every human being should experience that. Because commonly, we associate love with relationships. And, you know, if you say, I love you, then, you know, you expect something from that person expects something from you. But even if you want to say that's love, you know, think about what I'm saying is different. Love number 2, love prime or something, you know. This is a very sweet thing because it's selfless. It doesn't matter about the other person. It's just about you. Being loving is about you. So choose to be that way. It's a sensible way to live. It's an intelligent way to live. It's very pleasant, you know. And yeah, everyone should experience that. All right, another thing. But I think if you just look at it like sensibly, if you just look at it for yourself, you know, you have to live. So we can talk about the purpose of life another time. But yeah, we can look at it in like a logical way. So if you look at it that you're gonna live, that's a given. And you can choose whether to be unpleasant or pleasant. I mean, of course, the most sensible thing is to choose to be pleasant. So yeah, live in a sweet and beautiful way as much as you can. Meditation helps tremendously with that. Yes, that's the most important thing. Like I said in another video. Yeah.